Okay, hello. I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but this is essentially supposed to be timeless. So whenever you happen to watch this, this should be helpful for you. If you're aligned with it, if this is for you at all. Um, so I was supposed to pull from the past life oracle deck in the last video that I did. The last video that I recorded was like almost an hour, and I'm gonna try not to make this one super long. I don't know. But we're gonna pull some cards, get some energies, see what's happening. Oh wow. Oh wow. So that gives me a sign that gives me the confirmation that I am very tuned into my intuition right now, because we have imprisonment or slavery, and then orphan. And what I was thinking before I turned the cards over was like generational curses and like, the idea of like healing your ancestry and whatnot. And that's kind of what it's giving. It's giving like whoever I'm talking to, how do I say this? You may or may not be talking to your family. You may or may not be connected to your living family, but I do feel that you have lots of support on the other side. If you don't know what that means, another way to say that is that you have peeps who are rooting for you that are not living, basically. And should I be taking notes? I took notes for the last video. I'm gonna take notes for the how do I do this? I'm sorry, I'm disorganized a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna just number 1 and then number 2. Yeah, you have support on the other side. We have the 4 of Wands here, but the 4 of Wands came out from the other deck, actually, in the last video. This could be about a partner, a romantic partner. I almost said fling, but generally somebody that is going to really help you out of this imprisonment energy. One thing that I was saying in the last video, also if you want to take a deep breath with me, I know we're like 3 minutes into the video. If you want to take a deep breath with me, we can take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Hold it, and then let it go. Okay. One thing that I was saying in the last video, which is kind of controversial because it sounds victim blaming, it sounds like, overly self-blaming, but I was basically saying that if you're walking down the street and you happen to get robbed, it's literally only because on some level you allowed it to happen. And that, once again, it sounds crazy, but like on an energetic level, it's like we control our realities. Like we control everything that happens, and most of us are not like super aware of like the hidden beliefs in our brains. So, we're not like, we don't really connect the dots, we're not like, oh yeah, I was thinking about this and then this happened, so like there's a connect. Like, no, most of us don't think like that, but like that is kind of how that works. We have the King of Pentacles coming out along with the 10 of Swords. Ooh. This could be the end of a job. This could be an end of like a relationship or something like that, where you are being guided towards self-employment. This isn't going to be 110% for everybody who's here, by the way. So like, take what resonates, leave the rest. This isn't for everyone. But like, I do see somebody who's being guided towards like self-sufficiency, Because within this imprisonment card, this can mean a lot of different things for different people. But one way that I'm seeing it is like in terms of a job. Because with this King of Pentacles here, assuming that this is you, you are a person who is very grounded, a person who is very stable, a person who is very... You have a lot of ideas and like ideas about life and ideas about money and like just a lot of ideas. And I feel like you have been connected to something or someone that has been like kind of, how do I say this, like stifling those ideas to some extent. And I feel like it's not like easy to think about the ways in which our influences influence us. That sounds silly. But I was gonna say it's not common sense, but like I have gripes with the term common sense. I think it's such an ableist like piece of language because it assumes that we all like have the same knowledge, that we all have the same experiences, which we don't. We are all raised differently. We all look at the world differently. And so what's common sense to me might not be common sense to you. If there was true common sense, we probably wouldn't have war, because common sense to me is like, peaceful communication, but like that's not everyone's reality. You know what I mean? It's not fair to be like, oh well, war shouldn't be a thing because common sense. But like, I mean, that is how I see the world. But like, once again, not everybody sees the world that way. So obviously we have war. Anyways, it kind of twisted, like the way that I was like, I don't know how I got there, but once again we have imprisonment or slavery, and then orphan, and I feel like disconnecting from this energy, disconnecting from this job or this person is definitely going to like, to some degree. Oh wow, that's beautiful. It's definitely going to like push you into the energy of like feeling like an orphan, feeling like you have nothing. We have the Justice card, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. So there is this energy of you finding balance and you finding equilibrium. We have the King and Queen of Pentacles, by the way, which is really cool. So there might be a relationship happening. There might be someone that is like, I already mentioned that, but I'm like bringing it back up. There's somebody that you're meeting who is like equally yoked. Someone who is equally as like quote unquote successful. I feel like most of you probably wouldn't consider yourself to be successful, but like with the Queen and King of Pentacles, you do kind of give off that energy. With the Justice card, like you do, it gives that. It gives like abundance and whatnot. And you're going to be meeting somebody who has that same energy, like someone who's like super humble, but like has their shit together, like, and ideally this is going to be someone that is going to really lift you up. Like, it's not just a matter of like meeting somebody and falling in love and then just like that's it. It's like, no, but like you guys are going to help each other on different levels, like spiritually, financially, career-wise, like. And I said this in the previous video, it is really necessary that you are open to that, because if you're not, then it's probably not going to happen the way that it wants to happen. But I mean, love finds a way. It'll happen if it's meant to happen. And I want to say that. I want to say that that with a caveat. I'm sorry. Oh my God, my language. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen. I think this can be used as such a lazy way of looking at the world, because once again, we are in control of our reality. And if you look at it, well, like, oh well, it didn't happen, so it's not meant to happen. Like, no. Sometimes you need to put effort towards it. Sometimes you need to like work towards it. You know what I mean? And I remember, like, once again, shout out to Paul if you happen to be watching this. Sorry to use you as an example. But I have a friend named Paul who is, like, he's a really great guy. He's really awesome. But he has a very limited way of thinking. I doubt he'll be watching this. If he is watching this, like, awesome. I hope this helps. But he has a very limited way of thinking. Like, he's very, like, you know, set on a certain way of thinking. And sorry, my train of thought. Like, I was thinking of a specific time where, like, I suggested something, and he was just kind of like, no. And what was I gonna say? Fuck. Ugh. But now I feel silly. Fuck, I really was like on to something. I was about to say something really spot on, but oh, I remember. Basically, in relation to the idea of like it is what it is. He I was telling him about his chart. I was telling him about his astrology chart and how he has the ability to be a porn star or like generally just super famous. And he basically was like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And like, yeah, sure. But like, if you're not like putting any energy towards it, how the fuck is that gonna happen? Like, sure, miracles happen, anything could happen, like, whatever. But like, that's like asking to win the lottery and then never buying a lottery ticket. It's like, how was that gonna happen? Like, I mean, sure, somebody could gift you a lottery ticket. That's one way to. But like, if you're literally not trying at all, where the fuck do you think this is gonna? You know. But then I guess that's a limiting thinking for me because I recognize, like, on some level, that it is very possible to manifest things without putting too much energy into it. But like, at the least, you should be putting something towards it. You know what I mean? At the least, putting thought towards it. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that that's not something that he thinks about. Like, so it's like, how would that happen? You don't even think about it. You don't even, like, you know, like, generally being famous, becoming famous is not something that happens by accident. Like, even Adele has talked about, like, she didn't necessarily want to be famous, but like, she was doing something that could bring her fame. So it's like, okay, of course that could happen, but like, she could have shut herself out. She could have just been like, you know, I don't want to be famous, so I'm not going to do anything to make me famous. And then that would have circumvented that, because we create our own realities. But like, she's a singer. So of course, at some point, she's probably going to like blow up. Oh my goodness, I don't know. What? But also, I feel like that really was a roller coaster just a moment ago. I feel like I definitely like get very angry with this friend whenever I like think about them in certain contexts. I'm like so angry because like their way of thinking is just so limited, and I'm like, I'm more angry because it's like you're limiting yourself, not because like it frustrates me, but because like, well, okay, maybe partially it's because he challenges me, but it's like, you could like do so much if you just believed a little bit more, if you just had a little bit more faith, you know, like, especially as a person who goes to church. I'm like, how do you go to church and you don't like vibe with the concept of faith? I'm like, you know, but like, I'm saying that like non-judgmentally. I'm not trying to be like, oh well, you're like shitty brain because you don't like think the way that I do. Like, that's not how we should interpret this. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I do step on my pedestal. I'm okay with that. I'm not actively like making fun of people because of the way they think, but like at the same time, it's just like you could have so much. We could have hated. Oh, Oh, if you just open your mind, you know. We have the Queen of Swords coming out, and we have the Five of Cups. Ooh, having a positive attitude is what was just said into my ear. By the way, I have affirmations playing if you care. Um, they're money affirmations, but like still. And she said I have a positive mindset about money, and she said that as the Five of Cups came out, and the Five of Cups, a lot of people interpret it as like a sort of like gratitude moment, because it's like, sure, we lost a little bit, we lost quite a lot, but we have something, you know. I'm going to show you the imagery of the card. They dropped 3 cards, but they have 2 cards behind them that are perfectly fine. You know, it's like you're crying over spilled milk, but like look what you do have. And it can be difficult to like remember that when things happen, but it's like it can be very necessary. You know, like sure, you may have lost a loved one, but like look at all the people who came to support you. Look at all the people who came to like be there for you when you needed it. Just an example. That was a very specific example. You know, sorry, I'm taking notes. That is not how you spell that word. Oh my goodness. I can't spell apparently. Okay, alright. What was I gonna say? I don't know what I was gonna say. But if you want to take another breath with me, if you want to like tune in, and we could like real quick tune into the the energy centers. You can take a deep breath with me. Just 1, 2, 3. Focus on the fruit. We are grounded. We are stable. Focus on the solar plexus. We are powerful. We are vibrant. Focus on that heart. We are loved. We are loving. We are kind. Focus on that throat. We are communicative. That's not the word I meant to say. We are communicative. We are good at expressing ourselves, etc., etc. Looking at that third eye, we are connected to our intuition. We are aligned with our intuition. And then looking at the crown, we are connected to higher wisdom. We are connected to higher realms. Ashe, ashe. And wasn't that nice? Like I don't usually like. I used to do meditations on TikTok, low key. And I say low key because it wasn't something like I super advertised. But I used to like get on TikTok and like do meditation moments and like, you know, whisper into the camera and be like, hey, you are loved, you are amazing. And I stopped doing that, and I miss doing that. But like that was an era. That was a time. And also, what's hilarious is that I was doing that while I was homeless, and like, I don't know. It's just something to think about. It's just, I don't know, for myself at least, like taking stock of like my own journey, because I could easily cry about a lot of stuff. I could easily like be very upset about losing my book bag. I had a book bag with my laptop, with some really cool books that I will never get back. Like sometimes I do think about those books, and I'm like, I really like those books. The Red Book was one of those books. By Carl Jung. I had an ex-boyfriend give me that book as a present, and like I took so many notes in that book. It was like such a and like and now I'm like crying over spilled milk. But what I'm saying is like it's so easy. Like I've witnessed so many people like twice my age and like beyond, you know, like just get so caught up in the past and like what could have been and like what should have been, etc., etc. And it's just like the key, I think, to life is being able to let go and to just flow. Literally what I was talking about, like literally you can't see it, but like on my screen is the manuscript for like it's not a manuscript, but like the writing for the Patreon post that is going to be attached to the Letting Go video. I don't know when I'm going to post this. I don't know, because it's still pretty early in July, and like I've done a few things, and so I'm trying to pace myself. I'm trying not to do too much at once, because when I try to do too much at once, I get very like disorganized and like stressed and shit. What was I saying? Fuck. I lost my train of thought. Oh no. Yeah, because I remember I lived with this one dude. I remember at some point I had housing in a different part of the state that I'm in now. It's not really important at the location, but I was living somewhere and I was living with these two dudes. Well, I was living. I was living with these two dudes, and this one dude, he constantly talked about. He just constantly complained about like his past life, like where he was before he was living there. He was like, I had like this car and I had this house and like everything was great and everything was perfect, and then this happened, and then like now I'm here, and it was just like this constant like replay of like things used to be great, things used to be amazing, and it was like, okay, I hear you, I feel for you, but like we're here now in this moment. Like that doesn't exist anymore. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And like, once again, me personally, I could definitely complain a lot about things that I've lost. Like I lost a lot of clothes. I lost a lot of books. Oh my god. I hope nobody from Allen County ever watches this video, because I love you guys so much. But I stole a lot of books from that library. And then like in one way or another, I would lose those books. Like either they would get stolen from me, or like I would just lose them. It's not funny, but like it's funny because I stole a lot of books from that library, and I would like wholeheartedly intend on keeping those books, but one way or another, they got lost to the wind, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? It does pain me though to know that like that red book is gone. Like it's possible it could like resurface or whatever, miracles happen, whatever. But like I'm not pressed about it. It is what it is. That laptop also was a very valuable piece of whatever happened to that. I don't know what happened. Like I blame myself. Like even if somebody stole it, I blame myself, because I was going through a psychosis moment and I couldn't keep up with like my thoughts, and I set it down. Like I remember I was being so like not flippant, but I was being so like kind of like nonchalant about it. I was just like, I was using my energy, like my mind energy a lot. I was like, setting it down and being like, nobody fucking touch this. Like putting like a field around it and being like, no, nobody fucking touch this, because my laptop was in there, and that was the most valuable thing, I guess, because it's how I did work, it's how I like signed into my emails and shit, and also we're gonna switch a little bit. I had somebody recently ask me about getting a job, and like I've been getting back into the energy of people being like, you need to get a job, you need to do this, etc., etc. And I think it's like such a limiting thing, because as I'm listening to money affirmations, I think it's such a limiting thing to tell someone that they need to be like employed to make money, because there's so many ways to make money. And honestly, if I could toot my own horn, I just get money. Like I just like I just get money. Like there's no, I don't know, other way to say that. And so it's like whenever people tell me to get a job, I'm like, you know how much money I've made, like just being self-employed, like just existing. Like not even, I don't consider it being self-employed, but like just existing. Like I've made a lot of fucking money, and I remember getting into an argument with one of my family members because I was telling them, just how much money I had made, and they were like, but you still need to get a job. And I was like, what? Do you hear yourself? Like, one time I made $500 literally just existing on live, like in one moment. Like somebody sent me $500. God bless them, by the way. I'm thinking, I'm wishing them well right there in this moment because that was a very useful moment. But I had somebody send me $500 one time. I was just on live, just I don't remember what I was doing, but I was just on live, and like that was one moment. That was one example. Like I just get money, you know, and it's not to like brag. It's like because it takes a lot of work to like mental work. It takes a lot of inner work, and like if you feel like you're not getting to where you want to be or whatever, because you know on some level I'm right there with you. Like you know sometimes we feel stagnant and whatnot, and like it is really important to remember and to remind ourselves like just how in control of our reality we are. Like if you're not making enough money, consider like maybe you're just not thinking outside the box enough, you know, because there's like nobody wants to hear it, nobody wants to admit it, but like panhandling is a way to make money, you know. And like when I was homeless, like that was one way that I was making money. And like I say that, actually that's a lie. I hate panhandling. I used to hate that shit so much. Like I used to have to like force myself to do it, and I made quite a bit of money. Like sometimes I would have somebody just give me a 20. Like I would be like, "Do you have $1? Do you have any money?" And somebody would just give me a 20, and like that, you know, you can make a lot of money doing that essentially. But in all honesty, it was not something that I liked doing, so I didn't do it often. I mostly made my money from online, like people sending me money online. Thank the gods for the people who did that and like sent me money. But yeah, like generally what I'm saying is that there's so many ways to make money. There's so many ways to like live your life. And being employed and going through the system is not the only way, and it's honestly not the best way, because the system is not really, unfortunately, designed to like have our best interests at heart. Its intention is to like sustain itself and like, you know. But I digress. I'm supposed to be taking notes. I was doing really good with taking notes in the other video, but I'm slacking now. Open your mind is one of the notes that I'm writing, because I was telling my friend Paul too. I was like, you could literally be a millionaire. You could literally like do so much if you just like applied yourself and like genuinely believe that you could do it, because half of the battle is believing that you can. You know what I mean? And if you don't believe that you can, you're probably not going to. What's that phrase? I don't know who said this. I don't know why I keep thinking of Will Smith when I think of this quote. I don't think he has anything to do with this quote, but maybe he said it in an interview once. Excuse me. But generally, the quote is, whether you believe you can or you can't, you are correct. It is based off of your belief whether or not you will do it. You know? Ooh, yes. I'm sorry, the affirmations. Ooh, the affirmations are aligned with like what I'm saying, and it's like, yes, I love that. I'm so tired. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, thank you. I'm gonna actually cut this short because I said I wasn't gonna make it a long video. So if this was helpful, you should definitely engage with the video. You should definitely consider sending to someone who might benefit from something that has been said in this video. If not, no hard feelings. I hope that you got something out of this. This was useful. Hope you have a nice rest of your day. Where's this other deck? Oh, where? Why did I put it back in the? I put it back in the box. And like, I want to, as a closer, if I could say once again, there's no such thing as common sense. There's no such thing, and if you believe in the idea of common sense, you're kind of limiting yourself, because we're not all raised differently. That's you know, the point of learning. That's the point of like gaining experience, gaining wisdom, so you can like gain different ways to look at the world. So yeah, just keep an open mind. Remember that anything is possible if you really truly believe in it. And much love to you. Peace.